Hola.
What's good, everybody? Today we're going to be matchmaking the middleweight division. Lowkey, one of the divisions with the most potential, even taking into account this inactive ass champion we got. We're going to go through the rankings. I'll point out which matchups are mine and which have already been made. Starting off with Joe Pyfer, ranked 15. He's coming off of a win over Abis Magomedov where he subbed him. Subbed the Dagestani. Okay, bro, I guess. He's on a 3-fight win streak. He deserves to fight up. And I think he should fight against number 10 ranked Jared Cannonier. Mr. Unk himself. He's 1-3 in his last 4. He's pretty old at this point. I think he's 40 or 41. And feed him to Joe. Feed him to Officer Thundercock himself. Cassius Thundercock here in the corner. I think Joe Pyfer wins this by decision. Could be like a second round KO as well. Even if Jared is chinny, though, I would still give it by decision. I don't think Joe is winning this by KO. Would be interesting. Don't want to see Jared get KO'd, but it is what it is. Next up, Gregory Rodriguez. Nickname Robocop. Real nickname for the real OGs, Obama. Let me be clear. He is coming off of a KO to Cannonier. Well, he got KO'd by Cannonier, and then he went on a 2-fight win streak. He's fighting lower than Joe Pyfer at number 12. He's fighting Roman Dolidze, the human cum rag. He's not fighting as high as Jared, even though he's ranked higher than him. He's not fighting higher than Joe, even though he's ranked higher than him, because his wins have not been as impressive, in my opinion. He won against Vettori and Kevin Holland. Kind of mid. Those are two pretty mid wins outside the rankings, whatever. In this matchup against Roman Dolidze, who's just coming off of a loss to Fluffy, we'll talk about him in a second. This fight, in my opinion, has potential to see Roman Dolidze blow up the fuck out of Mr. Obama himself. But if we're realistic with ourselves, this is an easy, low output win for Gregory Rodriguez, where he just wins by slow decision, kind of aura farming to the judges, lands a couple big strikes, maybe almost chins Dolidze at some point. Who knows? Something like that. I'd give him a 29-28 decision if it's a 3-rounder, which it is going to be. Next up, talk about someone a little more interesting. Paulo Costa, ranked number 13th against Bruno Ferreira, who's outside of Vajera, however you pronounce it, who's outside of the ranking. So Paulo Costa, Mr. Brick Shithouse himself, put this picture here, just to get an idea. I don't even put his picture here. You guys know what he looks like. He's fucking built like a bag of bricks. And he's coming off of a win in the big 2025. Insane. I think Roman Kopylov needs to commit ritual Japanese suicide to make up for losing to Paulo Costa, because how are you losing to this guy at this point in his career? Bruno Ferreira recently beat Marvin, big fat chin ass Vettori, by decision in a pretty dominant way. You know, you could give maybe a round to Marvin, but not really. I think Ferreira takes this in a similar way to the way he beat Marvin. However, I think there's a chance for this fight to be a low-key niche banger, because both of these guys are very explosive. They're like quick twitch athletes, and this is a UFC fight, by the way. I didn't matchmake this, but they are quick twitch athletes. I think Paulo Costa does deserve to fight someone down in the rankings, like below him in the rankings, because one win, he's lost his last 3 or his last 2. No, he's on a big ass loss streak. This is a good fight. I think it has potential to be either really boring or really entertaining. Crazy take by me, to be honest. Next up, Michael Venom Page, MVP. Here we have Nikola Jokic, so you guys know who I'm talking about. He should be the MVP this year in the NBA, if anyone watches that. Against Robert Whitaker, ranked 9th. Bobby Nux, my boy. I love this man. MVP beat Cannonier and Shara Bullet back-to-back. He deserves to fight high in the rankings, like around the Robert Whitaker spot. But he's been saying that everyone in the UFC and his division has been ducking him. So I don't know if this fight was offered at some point and he didn't take it or what happened. But Mr. Bobby Nux is coming off of a robbery loss to the Ritter. It was AI. That shit was not real. Not really a robbery, but it was a very close fight. And if he does fight down in the rankings, which is this fight that I'm making here, I don't think he should fight too low in the rankings. It's not a bad look to lose to Shemaev, who's a champ, and then Rainier the Ritter by super close decision. On paper, this is an amazing fight. Both of these guys have a karate base. If they stay on the feet, it's going to be super technical. Every time they crash into the pocket, you won't be able to blink or else you'll miss it. Bobby's probably going to mix it up, though, because he has the ability to do so. We've seen him in 5-round fights and 3-round fights. He shot on Israel. He took Israel down. He only survived like 30 seconds with Hamza, but I don't think you can count that. And if this is a 3-rounder, which is not, but if this was a 3-rounder, you could give it maybe to Michael Page by like 29-28 decision. But the UFC clutched up. They made this a fight night 5-rounder. Robert Whittaker has a bunch of experience in the 5-round fights. He's gonna take this by decision. Gun to my head, Bobby Knuckles by decision. Gun to my homeboy's head, kill my homeboy today. He wins this fight. Next up, another UFC fight. Rainier the Ritter versus Caio Borralho. Now, this is an interesting fight because they're both coming off of losses. RDR came off of a loss to Brandon Allen, which no one saw coming, and if you say you did, you're lying. Caio Borralho just lost to Nasruddin Imavov, who's a real number 1 contender right now in this division. And I think this is a good matchup because they're both coming off of a loss, and they're right next to each other in the rankings. But at the same time, it feels a little bit inconsequential. This is kind of like a matchup to see who looks the most shit in their fight. Here we got, by the way, I forgot to mention, you can choose between whether this guy's Dricus or this guy's Dricus, who's RDR. I'm going to pick RDR to be the Roadrunner right here. Both these guys have been known to use Toon Force in their fights. And I think in this fight, RDR takes it by decision. I just can't see Caio winning in the top 10, realistically. He beat Jared. He almost killed that man in the 5th round, but I don't know. I'm just not that high on Caio. I just can't imagine him going any higher than he already has. So yeah, I think this is a 5-round win for Rainier the Ritter. Next up, Israel Adesanya. I support Israel Adesanya. I want him to become champion again. I don't actually want him to become champion again. He was a very overrated champion in my opinion. He's not the middleweight GOAT. Even if Anderson Silva took steroids, but whatever. We'll talk about that in another video. I think Israel is good to chill at this point. Doesn't need a matchup right away. He's coming off of a KO loss to Imavov. This was in last February. It's been a while now. I don't mind him resting and getting the winner of RDR versus Caio Borralho. Winner of these two. I think this would be a good fight. They get to, whoever wins this is going to be on a 2-fight win streak if they beat Israel. And against Israel, this is a really good chance to get one back. Because I can see him beating both of these guys, especially if it's a 5-rounder, which it's going to be. I mean, I don't see Israel being a main event of a pay-per-view, obviously. But he could be a main event of a fight night in Qatar, in one of the Saudi countries where the UFC loves to go and pay a bunch of money. So yeah, I think Israel against the winner of these guys, he has a good chance, especially in a 5-rounder. He says he's going to be fighting with a lot less pressure, which is good. And let's see if we can see this rejuvenated version of Israel. Next up, Brendan Allen should fight Dricus du Plessis. He's ranked number 1. He just lost to Hamza Chimaev. Brendan Allen just beat RDR. Like I said, I don't know how the fuck he beat RDR. This is one of those fights where you say, nah, he does not deserve to fight this high up against the Goofy King himself, Dricus du Plessis, DDP. I agree. I would agree. I don't think after beating RDR he deserves to fight the number 1 contender. But I have to be selfish. I just want to see this fight. I just want to see the ultimate goof off. This is the battle for the GMF belt, the goofiest motherfucker belt. We need to see these two fight. Thankfully, I think this is an easy win for Dricus. And no matter who wins, it's going to be 100% entertaining. There's no way either a finish is going to be entertaining, a decision is going to be entertaining, 3 rounds, 5 rounds. I think Dricus wins via painting a hole in the octagon and letting letting Brendan Allen just fall down the hole. That would be my prediction. Next up, another UFC matchup. Anthony Fluffy Hernandez, also known as this guy, comedian, versus Sean Strickland down here. One of the only guys in my videos to actually have his face be featured in the paint document. This is an interesting fight. Anthony just beat Dolidze via violation choke. He looks super impressive. Sean's coming off of being dominated in the second fight with Dricus. The first one was very close. You could have given it to Sean, but the second one put a stamp on it, definitely. This is a very hard fight to predict, but all of Sean's fights are hard to predict. In my mind, Sean's style beats Hernandez's style every time. 10 out of 10 times. Fluffy capitalizes on making mistakes, but Strickland doesn't make these mistakes. I can't imagine seeing Strickland get finished. And this is a 5-round event since it's a UFC. We know for sure it's confirmed to be 5-rounder. Sean has way more 5-round experience. We'd have to see how Hernandez's gas tank holds up. I'm sure it'll be fine, but I just see Sean Strickland winning by decision and hogging up space over here in this top 5, this top 3, this top 5. He's going to be sitting here and not getting a title shot. Maybe he'd be next for Hamza, but I just see Hamza retiring very soon. It would be a nice fight to watch, but we'll see how that shakes out. Okay, last but maybe least. Last and actually maybe least, we have Nasruddin Imavov versus the champ, Hamzat Chimaev. Boars up here. Fucking Foxy from Five Nights at Freddy's. This is a fuck-ass matchup. Nobody want to see this fight. It's tragic that it's going to be Chimaev's only fight in the whole year. This man fights one time a year. And give thanks that he does that at the very minimum. He used to be so active when he was coming up, but he got the belt. He doesn't want to take risks anymore. He got sick. I think he saw how fleeting a UFC career can be. So I think he's just sitting here. He's going to win by smudge decision. He's not going to risk nothing no more. It's going to be a boring fight. Like I said, nobody wants to see this shit. And it's sad, man. Leading up, we remember leading up into the Hamzat versus Dricus fight. We were so hyped. I saw a crazy-ass picture that the UFC was making. They were hiring artists to draw graphics for the fight. It was hype, man. It was great. It was everything we ever wanted from a title fight. It was a clash of styles. Two guys that you can't see losing. They were so dominant, man. I don't know. And then he just smudged them to decision, and it was boring. I invited friends. Man, I fucking invited friends to watch the UFC with me that had never seen the UFC. I told them, this is going to be a banger. You're going to be entertained no matter what happens. The card leading up to it was great, and then the fight was just ass. But yeah. Anyway, so to recap, we got Joe Pyfer fighting Jared Cannonier, Rodriguez, Mr. Obama fighting Dolidze, Paulo Costa fighting down in the division against Bruno Ferreira, Michael Venom Page, MVP, fighting Robert Whittaker in what is hopefully a karate stand-up matchup. Reiner DeRieder versus Caio Borraio, two guys coming off of a loss fighting each other. Israel fighting the winner of this fight. Brendan Allen fighting Dricus du Plessis for the GMF belt. Sean Strickland versus Fluffy Hernandez. And lastly, Imavov versus Chimaev for the belt. This is one of the divisions with the most potential in the UFC, but we're going to have to see whether it actually materializes its potential or not. Thank you guys for watching. I'm going to go slime out my homeboy.